Hey Tariq, what's going on?
Hey, beloved, y'all appreciate you. I just wanted to chime in. It's interesting when people try to say they don't see, they've never heard evidence of Black people being in the Americas before Columbus or the slave trade. That's absolutely false because every time we present the evidence, they just get on some I'm a tether and I say so and just deny it. There's plenty of evidence of Black people on this land. Black people, as the good lady said earlier, we were inhabiting all of the earth. We are the original inhabitants everywhere. I've been to Asia and I've seen jet black people with woolly hair. I've been to Polynesia. I've seen people in Polynesia who look like Black people in Harlem. All of these Black people going to these different corners of the earth, you think they didn't come on this large landmass? Black people were the first inhabitants here before the red Siberian native people. That's the thing people don't want to talk about. The Siberians came later. When you do archaeological digs, they're digging up Negroid looking features from the people that were here for thousands of years. When you look at Lucia woman, which is the oldest remains found in this landmass, they did a reconstruction. They proved that this was a woman with Negroid features. YT scientists said this. This is a fact. When you look at the Olmec statues, and I've seen all of them, these are Negroid features on these statues. You have YT scholars like Constantine Raffines in the 1800s who proved that there were Black tribes here, indigenous for thousands of years. You had Vazaro, who was a European explorer who came over here and saw people who looked like the folks in Ethiopia, which is what they called Africa at the time. Balboa and all of these other European explorers, they all saw black-skinned, woolly-haired people on this land. You have people like Leo Werner back in the early 1900s writing books about the Black Aboriginal people on this land. You have another YT German scholar, von Wutenow, who wrote books in the 70s showing figurines of Aboriginal statues and trinkets that look like Gucci Mane that's been here for thousands of years. So anybody saying that there's no evidence of Black people being here, they're just being intellectually dishonest. Even the name America, many people believe that comes from the Amariske people down there in Central America, which were a black-skinned people. Some of them are still there. We have so much evidence, even in slavery. There were a lot of people who were enslaved, Black people, who actually got their freedom because they proved that they were really Native American. And there were a lot of freedom suits that people were going to court over to get their freedom. This is why they start to try to erase our indigenous part of the lineage, because we were using that to our advantage. They had to try to Africanize us to make us seem like foreigners on our own land. There was a big movement in the early 1800s and mid 1800s of Foundation of Black Americans saying, hey, we need to cut that Africa talk out because they're trying to foreignize us. So there's a lot of evidence that we are indigenous and we are the original inhabitants of this land. Were we mixed in with some of the Africans? Of course we were. I don't deny the slave trade, but if somebody says there's not enough evidence to show indigenous Black people, well, there's more evidence to show that than there's evidence of large, massive slave ships, because we damn sure don't have evidence of that. So where you want to go with it?
Tariq, you taking some questions? You want to
Yes,
do a couple of rebuttals? Hold on, Africa. What you say, Tariq?
Yes, let's take a couple of questions.
Okay, go ahead.
Share the live and tap the screen. Share the live, tap the screen.
All right, thank you, Ma. Go ahead, African Reality.
You see, Tariq, one thing I notice is you might know all the history you're talking about, though, and you might have a issue with some Africa that disagree with you about the history you're mumbling all about. But I will tell you for a fact, no single African will ignore the history of Black Americans. And all you just say right now about the history, it is history. It is called a history for a reason. History have a positive and negative, and you have a ugly side and a good side. So when you're making your history, talk about the reality, what is on ground. Is it African or immigrants that forced themselves to come to America, or it was the system of America that make it so? Because we can't sit here and as if Black America is not going through issue in America. Systemic racism being the second in America. Why are we not talking about the reality of America? that black people are facing in America, instead of talking about delineating. Yeah, me, I support the delineation, but why is a black American not doing more to put the agenda out? I land with that.
Brother, what part of Africa are you from?
Africa.
Sir, you don't have to be ashamed to let us know what
No,
country.
I'm
What
not
country?
ashamed of Africa. You wanna call Africa shito? I'll call you for you. Africa is a shito.
Nobody's
What else?
brother. Okay, you projecting, brother.
What
You
else?
you
No, I
you you
mean,
you have
Tariq,
insecurities about your
he
homeland.
always tell us he claimed the whole Africa. He one of them who don't like this. I don't know. He can't nobody get up out. He just say he
And
claimed the whole Africa.
and that's the thing. They try to shame us when
Yeah.
you're ashamed of Africa. Y'all are really ashamed of Africa, and y'all hate Africa. Nobody. Oh, I don't. Let me watch my words. Nobody dislikes Africa more than an African immigrant. Y'all do not like your homeland. You deflect, and then y'all want us to be on the same vibe. We have this is our homeland. We're here in our homeland. We're proud of our homeland. We don't have Stockholm syndrome. We built this country. We didn't immigrate here. You don't immigrate into slavery. We built the country from scratch, and we overcame the oppressive system, and we're still here, and we made a country and a culture so great that it's the global dominant culture, and everybody wants to be a part of it. So people want to do this little destiny swap to try to play this little Jedi mind trick that we should hate what our ancestors built and long for some Wakanda that these people are running from. And we're just not playing that game. And that's where a lot of this weird, deflective babble comes from. We don't have no disrespect for Africa. We don't. We want you to stay there and build Africa, but you're not going to come over here and tell us what we're not. We are the culture of America. White tea supremacy is not America. White tea supremacy is white tea supremacy, which is global. They don't care about America. We are the only people who care about the culture, the style, the music, and the sanctity of this nation. We were the ones stepping on that and stomping on that. We were the ones fighting for civil rights. We were the ones fighting for equal justice. So all of these people being able to come here is here because of foundational Black Americans. Let's be very clear.
Black America is
Okay,
everything. Why
hold
is
on,
Black America
Africa.
won't be a president in
Africa,
America?
no. Anybody else got ball talk? Did you have a question or you had something you want to say to Africa? I mean, to
I got a
Tariq?
question, love.
I want
Okay,
to ask
and Johnny.
Africa,
Okay.
is
No, to
Africa?
Tariq. To Tariq. He don't got long. Do
Oh
you have
no,
any-
Tyreek is cooking. I'm gonna let him finish cooking. No, I know he
Okay.
knows it.
All right,
I
go
got a
ahead,
question.
Johnny. Hold on, Anthony.
Tariq. Hey, Tariq.
Hey, brother.
Hey, Tariq, for the record, I'm from PG County, descendant of slave and all that. So I've been into politics and everything like that.
Yes,
so
sir.
I heard you, then I went on Daniel Live and I heard the word lineage. So I heard you talking about FBA's individuals. Cool, I understand that. And then I also heard that it's a lineage. Cool, I understand that. But some people don't seem to understand. So I came up with the concept. You know, Daniel said chill, and then he called me an op, told me I was definitely an op. So whatever. But is FBA a pedigree?
No, it's just a lineage, brother. That's it. It's a lineage, man. If your family was here, classified as Black at the beginning of this country, that's foundational. That's it. That's all it is. It's just a lineage that goes to the beginning of this country. That's it.
So pedigree is too strong of a word.
Yeah, that's it. That's something else.
All right, cool.
Yeah, we're just a
All right,
lineage.
thank you, Johnny.
May
Infinite.
I ask Tyreek a question real quick?
Yep, go ahead.
Tyreek, let these people know, since they continue to say we have no evidence of us being here, why on earth is California named after a Black Queen Khalifa? Can you explain that to these people?
Yes, indeed. Yeah, the Queen Khalifa, that's the mythological Black queen that the Spanish wrote about because they heard stories of Black-skinned people being on this side of the country. When they came over here, they saw Black tribes. The Mojave tribe was jet black. The Ohlone Indians were jet black. They looked like an African tribe. So there were Black tribes all up and down California. They know that. So people are very well aware. And that's what I like about the Spanish. See, they don't like to talk about the Spanish and the Portuguese. They like to start our history at 1619. That's when the English got their foothold in. They ignored the Spanish and the Portuguese. Why? Because they told the exact truth of what they saw. Down in Brazil, the Portuguese, they separated the Black people from Africa and the Black people on the land. They had a term called negros de terra, meaning blacks of the land. They were very specific about the black people that were already here are not like the black people in Africa. They were very explicit about that. There's way too much evidence showing that there were black-skinned people here. If you look at maps from the 1500s, all the drawings of the indigenous people were black. Y'all go look all of this up. So this is very, very well documented. They know, and let's be clear, they know that there were black-skinned people here. The name of the game is to make us think that we weren't already here so we can be de facto immigrants like them, and we're not. And that's where a lot of this vitriol comes from, this thing where they want to tell us that we're something that we're not. We are indigenous to the United States for two reasons. Number one, we have ancestry that goes back thousands of years, and even the Africans who were brought over, there was an ethnogenesis. We had a complete ethnogenesis, and we've been here too long. There are people over in Fiji who admit that some of their people come from Africa, but they are now Fijians. They had a complete ethnogenesis. They are a whole new ethnic group, and that's the same with us. Somebody said earlier that, yeah, we're really Nigerians. We ain't Nigerians. We predate Nigeria. Nigeria was created after we were here, and even the tribes. Those tribes are not old ancient tribes over there in Africa and West Africa. Don't let them tell you that. Many of these tribes were created through colonization. They were formed when the white supremacists went over there and start lumping different people together and say, okay, you're going to be that tribe, you're going to be that tribe. They didn't even get last names over in West Africa till like the 1880s. So a lot of their history is relatively recent. So when we know our history and stand on that, they have an issue with that because they want us to be lost generic Africans, which we are not.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
No. Tariq, you got
It's
something.
a debate, right?
Hold on, no. You already had something to say. Everybody did. He only taking them couple of questions. Tariq, got some other stuff you want to say to the family while you up here? Something we should know or anything?
No, everything is cool in the game. Well, I'll take one more question. I got 5 minutes. I'll take one more question.
Go ahead, Infinite.
Yes, I think what Tariq is saying, that's a whole another podcast or the whole thing for the debate, because he was doing good from the beginning until he started mentioning tribes. If you say it were the whiteys that were on the continent and started giving African people tribes, whatever you learn, you need to reevaluate that. If you say Nigeria, America was established before Nigeria, you need to reevaluate your school. Whatever you learn, reevaluate that or put that in the trash. Because my tribe, I'm from Liberia. My tribes go back more than 2,000 years, bro. You start misinforming people.
Really?
It will make a lot of sense. I'm telling you, really.
So you've been on that land for 2,000 years.
Liberia, we've been on that land for more than 2,000 years.
And y'all can't build dirt. Y'all still got dirt roads and no toilets.
That does not. That does not.
Bruh, if you've been there that long, you see, and people are still in shanty towns, I wouldn't brag on that.
Now you want to deflect.
I'm not trying to be mean, but bro, I wouldn't say that. That's what I'm saying, bro.
You see, when you find somebody,
and I'm not even trying to be mean. I'm not even trying to be mean, but real. If you've been there that long, and you still in shanty towns,
you are proving what you do not know. People think you know, but those are people who do not know. When you do not know something, when someone sounds this eloquent like you, they think you know. The University of Sankara in Ghana, during the Ghanaian Empire, it goes back more than 2,000 years, bro. How can you not know these things? I think you sound very brilliant on the internet. You sound very brilliant, very eloquent to those who have not read anything when it comes to the continent. You're talking about Nigeria, America predate Nigeria, bro. Are you serious? That's embarrassing.
Yes,
I would prefer.
There was no Nigeria. There was no Nigeria until a white T woman named it.
Right.
A white T woman named that area. What was it called before Nigeria?
What's the name of America before America conquered America?
Nigeria has
can I ask you a question?
Excuse me. It was named in 1960. You're missing his point.
When did they name America? Hold on, brother. When did they name America? What is the name of America before America? You say
he's not talking about. He's not talking about America. He's talking about the black people on this land.
You want to talk down? You want to ignore Africa history?
Tariq a little bit. Hold on 1 second. Let me school Tariq a little bit. Tariq sound eloquent to people who have not read anything. When you say Nigeria or America predate Nigeria, It will, on the surface, it will look like there were no Nigeria. The tribe did not exist. The people did not exist. We're not talking about the man name of Nigeria. The Igbo kingdom goes back more than 2,000 to 3,000 years. Then you telling me
Now, sir, you're from Liberia. Okay, you're from Liberia, right? Okay, now listen, when we went over there to Liberia, the American Colonization Society, they were trying to send black people over there. Most of us weren't going over there for that. You had a journalist named William Nesbitt who went over there to Liberia. He saw how down bad it was. He saw people eating bush meat, living in huts. He said, this ain't us. And he came over here and fought for the 14th and 13th Amendment. That's why we got the 13th and 14th Amendment. They went over there and saw what was going on with the native tribes and said, this is not us. Our slave quarters are better than what's going on over here. And they fought for the 13th and 14th Amendment, sir. So it's okay to say that we're different ethnic groups. That's fine. But don't try to lump us up into being generic Africans. Some of those tribes are nomadic. Many of them were not there for thousands of years. They were running and going all over Africa. They're not rooted and they're not stable tribes. They're nomadic to this day. People are running now. So they've always been nomadic tribes. There's not a deep-rooted culture over there like that anymore, sir. And that's the reality.
Let me ask a question.
Yes, sir.
Do you know how far back the Ghanaian Empire goes?
How far back does it go?
I'm asking you the question. I want to see whether you're really educated, bro. Do you know how far back the Ghanaian Empire goes?
How far does it go? You tell me, sir.
You see, that's why it's good to ask questions, because the Ghanaian Empire goes back more than 300 BC. The Ghanaian Empire. And you got the Songhai Empire. You got the Mali Empire. And before those places became empires, there were people on the continent that goes back more than 5,000 years.
But they're nomadic, sir. They're nomadic. Sir, some of the people there now are not the same people from that era, sir. The people were pushed here. They were pushed different places. When the Arabs came over, they pushed people into different areas, sir.
Agree. Let me correct something real quick. You mentioned lion wearing cloth and Kanambali, we ate human beings and stuff. When you go back into the US here, when you look at the history of the Arawakans, do you know that 2,000 to 2,500 years ago, the Arawakans were wearing lion cloths? They were cannibalistic. Do you know that?
Okay. Well, do you know 20 years ago?
Hold on one second.
Well, do you know 20 years ago, y'all had General Butt Naked? Y'all had a dude named General Butt Naked over there running around with his booty out. They were eating people. Do you know that?
I'm trying to tell you that just that you can accuse Africans of wearing lion cloth being cannibalistic, we can accuse South America of doing the same thing too, going back 2,500 years. How can you know that and pointing fingers on Africans, bro? Are you making any sense?
Well, you can't say foundational Black Americans. We don't eat people. We ain't never done that. We never done that, sir. All right, we don't do that, and we've never done that.
Tariq, we can have this debate so I can expose how much you do not know about the continent.
Oh, I know.
So I know.
You only know the history of maybe 300 years ago. That's the only thing. He's just talking everywhere. You're making a comment. Oh, go ahead, brother.
Tariq talk to people who do not know, who are not enlightened of our history. But when you meet people who have read our history, they can challenge him and prove him wrong. You do not even know how far back
Infinite, how long you been in the U.S.? Infinite, how long have you been in the U.S.?
Going to 16 years now.
There you go. I proved my point. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen.
You know, all the people that follow you never go anywhere. That's
Thank you so much. All right.
People
That's all I need to know.
They never even go anywhere. It is ignorant conversation.
All right. Good Queen Mother. Thank you so much, love. I appreciate you, dear. All right, room. Y'all be good, room.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Take care, bro.
All right.